3 meters ago 12:19 the first pairing are out on the golf course. It's single-cut Ayama of Japan and Francis Julian. As it's the third round, we're in reverse order, so a little while yet until the leaders are out. There's also some badminton action, both men's and women's doubles preliminaries. Facebook, Twitter, Google + 6 meters ago 12:16 Kevin Mitchell idle thought occurred as packing to head for the tennis, which organizers insist is a sellout. Despite visual evidence strongly to the contrary, why not fill those empty seats by giving tickets to kids from the favlas? Can you imagine what an impression that would leave on some of them? Can you imagine what a thrill they might have had watching Thomas Bellucci flirt with the impossible on Friday when, for a time, he looked like beating the night off? Can you imagine the tales they could tell when they went home? The Olympics are supposed to be, in large part, about dreaming, about thinking the impossible. That's why a lot of athletes are here in the first place. Andy Murray chose to come, not for the money or the ranking points, cause there ain't any, but the glory and the chance to win medals for Great Britain. He says it all the time. It's not so much about him, as the team. That spirit should spread beyond the competition arenas. The kids in the favlas deserve to be part of the Olympics. Updated at 12:17 p.m. BST. Facebook, Twitter, Google + 10 meters ago 12:11 14 meters ago 12:08 I'm sorry to say that's me done. It's been a splendid way to spend a Saturday morning though. Thanks for your company. I'll be back with you for another graveyard shift in a couple of days from now. Over to Gerard Moore. Enjoy your Super Saturday. Facebook, Twitter, Google + 17 meters ago 12:05 Excellent intel from D. Russell on the email on Olympians who have competed in 2 events at the same games, a topic of interest a couple hours back. I'll post it all. There are a number of athletes who have entered multiple disciplines at the same Olympiad. Johnny Weissmuller, of USA and Tarzan fame, won golds for swimming and water polo in 1924. Brit Paul Radmilovic won gold in water polo at the 1908 Games. Due to illness, he was drafted into the GB 4x200-meter relay which they duly won. Perhaps the award for most multiple events would go to the German, Karl Schumann, who took part in the 1908 Games. Not content with winning team golds in 2 events at the gymnastics and an individual gold in the vault, he entered and won the wrestling competition. He also took part in the weightlifting, triple jump, long jump, and shot put during the same games. The most unusual multi-eventer was probably Walter Winans, U.S., who won silver for shooting and gold for sculpture at the 1912 Olympics. Shooting and sculpture, together at last. Reminds me of the great tale about former England cricket captain A. Stoddart. What a lad he was. For my own club of Hampstead, no less. More his club than mine though, let's be real. Look, seeing as I've ventured into cricket. If you fancy that as well, be sure to join Vaithoshani Hanthraja in another tab across the road in the over-by-over as England continue in the field against Pakistan at the Oval. He's ever so funny. Facebook, Twitter, Google + 40 meters ago 11:43 I just caught a replay of Greg Rutherford's qualification for the long jump final. Blimey, nearly botched it, didn't he? Sorry Mum and Dad, I do apologize, he said to the BBC with a bit of a smile. Impressive fella. Jessica Ennis Hill leads heptathlon after day 1 as Greg Rutherford survives scare. Heptathlon champion opens up 72-point lead while long jumper scrapes into final after recording 2 fouls. Read more. Facebook, Twitter, Google + 44 meters ago 11:39 If you're just getting here, then I'd suggest you get up to speed by reading the daily briefing. That'll tell you all you need about yesterday, and a nice little primer for what to look out for on day 8. Then, keep this open on your screen as well to track events as it happens. Very handy. And you can tailor it to the country you want to follow. Even better. Olympics 2016 Daily Briefing. Solo storm, wonderful Wiggins and a schooling for Phelps. The goalkeeper had some choice words for the U.S. women's football team's vainqueurs, while the king of the pool was beaten for once. Read more. Facebook, Twitter, Google + 52 meters ago 11:31 One more Phelpsy piece before we really get stuck into the day ahead. And an excellent one, by Leigh Carpenter in Rio. About how the Baltimore boy is considerably happier than the robot who dominated previous games. Quite a lot in here, and well worth it. Soon he will walk away with the last of his medals dangling around his neck. He steps into fatherhood and into a great unknown. What do you do when you have won more medals than anybody ever and have to start again at something else? Nothing will ever compare to the rush of these races, of the roar of the crowd and the constant affirmation that he, yes he, was the best in the world over and over again. Now he talks about fatherhood and baby outfits and the thrill of knowing his son has seen him swim even if the child has no idea what he is seeing. 1 hour ago 11:24 neglected to give this a spin when going through the day that was. North Korea's Rim Jong-sim won their first gold of the games, in the weightlifting. She said her first thought was how happy it would make her country's leader, Kim Jong-un. I'm a bit disappointed he isn't here competing on the golf course given his old man certainly had skills to pay the bills in the discipline. North Korean weightlifter says Olympic gold will make beloved Kim Jong-un happy. Rim Jong-sim, who continued to train following a bad injury despite doctor's advice, won her country's first Olympic gold by a large margin. Read more. Facebook, Twitter, Google+. 1 hour ago 11:14 We're 15 minutes away from the start of Super Saturday. It begins on the golf course, with the third round of the men's golf. Then a spot of badminton, before the first medals of the day were decided in the regatta at about 2:30 British time. Not long after that it's the One Athletics final on this afternoon session. The men's discuss. Then the day goes wild. Whether it's the pool, the velo, the track, the boxing ring, the tennis court, there are medals being given out everywhere. Weightlifting, shooting, fencing and trampolining as well. What a day. Study the program. Sort your day around it. If there was ever time to settle into a long shift in front of the telly, today is it. And of course, stick with us on the blog throughout. Rio Olympics 2016, full events schedule, your essential, complete guide to the games in Rio de Janeiro, with every single event planned out for you. Read more. Facebook, Twitter, Google+. 1 hour ago 10:54 Michael Phelps didn't win. Like man-biting dog, it's the unexpected that produces the most interesting headlines. But he was kind of okay with it. Here's Andy Bull's piece on Phelps' final individual Olympic swim. The winner was Joseph Schooling, a Singaporean who had his photo taken with Phelps as a kid. Nice stuff. They came to the country club that I trained at, Schooling said. It was early in the morning, and he was working on an essay. Everyone just rushed up and was like, "It's Michael Phelps. It's Michael Phelps." And I really wanted a picture. 2 hours ago 10:32 Is it a bit odd that no Brit has won more than 8 medals? By the way, this probably feeds into the swimming has too many medals narrative, doesn't it? As an Australian, I curiously enough don't subscribe to that view. Bring on the 25-meter side stroke. Less is more? No. More is more. Facebook, Twitter, Google+. 2 hours ago 10:29 In case you missed it in the rolling news cycle that gathers pace by the hour at an event like this, Sir Wigo became Great Britain's most successful Olympian overnight. Here's a video of him holding medals through the years, from Sydney to Rio.